All right, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about how Tesla had some recalls this year. There's a new report from the US Department of Transportation. They had a good amount of recalls, but they didn't have the most. And it's kind of interesting because I feel like I always see headlines or the news or mainstream media always likes to say, Tesla recalls, Tesla recalls that. But it's kind of nice to see this on a level playing field for the whole year that, Tesla didn't have the most recalls. So we'll go through this list. We'll take a look at it because, it's always, there's always a feeling that Tesla has a lot, but it's good to see that they actually don't have the most. So before we get into that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. We make, 3 to 4 videos a day now just regarding Tesla and Tesla hacking. So definitely, check out the channel if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support, the channel, but more on that later. So this is the article. I probably saw this on Twitter, so sorry to whoever posted this, and I'm not giving them credit, but this is what here it is now. And it's a article from Autoblog. These car manufacturers issued the most recalls in 2022. And it's funny because usually any sort of other news publication would say Tesla had this many recalls versus blah, 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 or I feel like that's just a common trend, maybe because it gets the, the best amount of clicks. People just taking a stab at Tesla, or, people seeing Tesla fail for whatever reason. But here is the list. So you can just scroll down, skip all this mumbo jumbo. Tesla had 20 recalls in 2022, or almost 1 million or 4 million vehicles. But Ford, right here, the big top dog, had 67 recalls this year, which is, 8.6 million vehicles. Granted, maybe because of, in terms of the ratio, that might seem like a lot in terms of Tesla's 20 recalls for the ratio of how many they sell versus Ford's and how many they sell. But, it's good to see that Tesla wasn't the highest top of the list. And, maybe there's a bunch of other manufacturers in between. And there's another thing that pulls up with Tesla is that, Tesla fixes a lot of their recalls with right here. It's also fair to point out that a large number of Tesla recalls were fixed over with air-to-over updates. That's the nice thing about owning a Tesla, is that you get all these updates all the time. It's almost actually kind of annoying at sometimes. I'll kind of be the first to admit it. When I had my Model 3 and my Model Y, I would always try and update ASAP. But then when I got to my third Tesla with the Model S, I would kind of just let updates sit by the wayside. I wasn't always ready to always update it ASAP because I wasn't really caring about it. But it's cool to see. I guess I'd love to see the ratio calculation with this to see if some of the other manufacturers and how many vehicles they sell. But because they definitely are bigger manufacturers and vehicles, and we're pretty close to the end of the quarter 4, and pretty close to how many vehicles Tesla has sold this quarter. There's people guessing anywhere from 400,000 as low as I think I saw 360,000 all the way as high as 420,000, 420,069. That'd be funny, or 420,690. But today, with the added news of the discount of the Model S and the Model X, that's kind of very weird timing. I think it's very hard to finance those type of vehicles for most people, I would feel because once you get past $80,000, $90,000 as a vehicle price, banks tend to get a little antsy. And to expect people to be able to turn around in one day to be able to buy or take delivery, literally one day, because it came out 2 hours ago, and it's already 8 p.m. on the eastern side and 5 o'clock on the California side, or West Coast side. So it's really just one day of sales, which is a Saturday, which of course people are off and free and ready to take delivery. It's also New Year's Eve, so it's I feel kind of bad for Tesla workers out there. They're going to have a crazy New Year's Eve day, and they're probably going to be working deliveries all the way into the new year, or all the way till tomorrow night and even the new year. So it's crazy. And I was thinking, like, what if there's like a loophole to all this like tax credit, right? Because like someone commented, like, what if there's a way to like double dip on the $7,500 discount and the $7,500 tax credit? Because I'm pretty sure it says like you must take delivery in next year or next quarter. So what if, like, because we know Tesla's gonna be working like late nights. What if you took delivery at 1 a.m. tomorrow? Like, of course the paperwork is going to say December 31st. And, at the end of the day, it probably won't work, but I just, me just thinking like out of the box with something funny like that. But basically at the end of the day, Tesla is not the number one manufacturer in 2022 that had the most recalls, but probably if we were to do the math of the ratio of vehicles that are out on the road versus recalls, then probably it's a high number at the end of the day. But it's good to see an article that doesn't have Tesla recalls, a million vehicles, and some, a different refresh type of headline. But today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description, you can find a Patreon link where you can support the channel and at various different levels. And some of those levels include a call with me. That's a one-on-one call to ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even getting great financing on a Tesla. And after you join at that certain level, you actually get a link to my buying guide that has links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible price. So let's jump into some comments. Alexis, hey. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to tonight's videos. RIVIAN, should I wait for prices to go down and use market for Tesla Model 3? Yes, 1000% you should wait at this point. It's coming sooner than later. All that jazz. Paul, welcome to the stream. Welcome to another video. Yeah, Model S, X selling very well. It looks like we saw 10 to 13% drop in sales immediately. Definitely very interesting. Alexis, definitely wait RIVIAN. They will come down and faster. People stop buying when they're high. Yeah, because I put a poll on my channel because I wanted to see, like, when do we think that prices are going to change? And so questions I asked was, do we think Tesla will change blah, 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 Model 3, Model Y, Model S, and Model X pricing, and when? And we have different dates here. So I'm thinking it's either going to be January 1st, it's going to be January 3rd when the Q4 deliveries are released. Is it going to be January 25th, 26th when there's that earnings call, or is it going to be all the way at the end of the quarter in March when they're going to hold as long as possible to pull that magic, the Hail Mary at the end of the day? For sure. Paul, I'll see a demo discount on a model. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it's stacking at the moment too. So there was some good deals I was taking a look at earlier. Like you could get a Model S, like almost all the way down to really old pricing, like $88,000. Still not all the way down to like what it was before when it first came out at $80,000, but getting close for sure. So I think I could easily see Tesla just whacking prices across the board, $10,000, maybe $5,000 and $5,000 for the Model 3 and Model Y, and then $10,000 and $10,000 for the Model S on Model X on January 1st. I could easily see that, and so we'll see. Jeffrey, thoughts on a used 2020 Model S, Model Y performance with FSD for $57,000. Seems kind of high. I mean, full self-driving is probably worth, what, $3,000 to $5,000 on the street? That seems a little too high, Alexis, I almost tried to figure out how to send you a message today. I'm not on IG or Twitter. There are new Model 3s coming off production line today, and what? With included MSRP, FSD and MSRP. You're talking about used ones? Yeah, I would say 2020 Model 3, 2021, actually at this point, like maybe even 2022, like if you're doing the standard range, it's really tough, but low 30s is what I would want to be at, especially with I would just say don't do anything in the next couple of days. Let's get past January 1st, January 3rd, these key dates, and when we think Tesla might do something with pricing, and then we'll see where stuff lands on the used market for sure. Base price 46 is not ready for delivery, so no 74. Oh, okay. So you're talking about, new ones. Yeah, those are tough. It's because there's no way that you're going to be able to take delivery in like the next day. Happy Hippo, what'd you miss? Basically, we're looking at this article in which a Tesla has a bunch of recalls. Okay, I guess I lost it. Did I click it out? A bunch of recalls, but they're not the number one manufacturer that has the most recalls out there. Ford had 67 recalls in 2022, and Tesla had 20 recalls this year. But you know, this is just surface level numbers. If you probably dive into how many Fords there are out there on the road versus how many Teslas there are out there on the road, then of course that probably paints a different story in terms of like the ratio. But it was just cool to see that, you know, Tesla, because I'm so used to saying like headlines where Tesla has, you know, bajillion recalls, a million vehicles, and it was cool to see that this article didn't really say that, and also Tesla doesn't even have the most this year. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff regarding the Tesla recalls. My next video today, I'm probably going to talk about, I think we're going to talk about something I think has been going on in the sidelines for this past week, maybe even since yesterday, but it seems like a good spike, a good healthy spike of Model Y inventory coming to the mix. So we'll talk about the Model Y. We'll talk about it specifically. It seems like that's the hot topic, and I just created a poll on my YouTube page as well, see if there's any votes on that to see kind of what's the temperature out there for Model Y buyers. Where do we find the recalls? I think it's on, this is from the Department of Transportation, so you should be able to check it out. But the thing with Tesla is that most of the recalls come from get fixed from over-the-air updates, so you really don't need to worry about it. Alexis included FSD at MSRP when you buy, no extra charge on a Model 3. Is that a different special? I haven't heard of that, but I did hear something where someone was, you know, bought a Model X and got full self-driving completely waived, but I haven't heard that on a Model 3. Unless that's like something new, then that would be interesting. Very, very interesting. Cool. HH. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those Mach-E's, too expensive. I love R-Body for the exactly. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please hit that like if you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in 5 minutes.